Hey guys, it's me, Kim. I'm back with another video. How are you doing? Okay, so because we're friends, I'm gonna be all the way real with you. The first version of this video that I thought out, like I planned and outlined, I was so mad. I was so pissed off. So what happened was somebody DM'd me a couple of days ago saying, I think this woman is talking about you. And I was like, oh my God, y'all so messy. So I went over to Twitter and looked at the thread, and yeah, it was a thread about me, right? And like, my name wasn't there, but it was a thread about me. Now, how do I know? Because this person has tweeted about me before, but that's fine. That's fine. Well, you know, it wasn't fine for me because I was pissed off, right? I was typing fast. And then I went to sleep pissed. And then I woke up the next day pissed. And I outlined this video, planned what I was gonna say, and girl, I was ready for a drag. I was ready for a drag. I was gonna call this woman a charlatan, a faker, a scammer. I was looking on Lipstick Alley. Like, for real, I was pissed off. I decided that I wasn't going to record the video immediately. So I stepped away from it. I worked on something else yesterday and revisited it last night. And I'm so glad I did that, because when I looked out the original outline for this video and saw how nasty it was and unproductive it was and mean-spirited and petty it was, I realized that that's not the work that I want to do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in the business of dragging every single person who questions my motives, who questions my integrity. And also, look, life is frankly too short to give everybody who doesn't like what you do a private audience. There's just not enough time, right? So not only would it be a poor use of this platform, it would be a poor representation of the work that I want to put out into the world, but it wouldn't even really make me feel better. I'd still be pissed. I would still be mad. I decided that, one, if you do public work, you should expect public feedback. That's not the first Twitter thread that's been made about me. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm 29. I started for Harriet when I was 21. I've been extremely online since I was 18. It's not gonna be the last. And if I can dish it, I need to be able to take it. So I looked at the tweets and said, why are you so mad? What touched a nerve for you? And let's work through it in a productive way, a useful way, and also, frankly, a way that is gonna make you money. Let's attend to the central question. Why would a woman like me endorse the twerk video? Why would I say that it's fine? Why am I not against twerking? Why am I not embarrassed by Cardi B and Young Miami and all of those brown-skinned women in the video? Why? And I guess to ask that question, you have to know a little bit about my biography. I am almost 30 years old. I don't have any kids. I'm not married. I went to Harvard. I speak like this, so obviously I've interacted with some white folks in my life. My mother is an engineer. My father was an accountant. And I've lived, you know, a pretty good life in the Black American sense, right? Like a really good life. Considering that I don't have any grandparents who went to college, we're doing okay. As I made it clear in that video, I am not trying to be in any twerk videos. It's not going to happen. But I also know that Black women twerking on the beach is not why we're oppressed. Even if I have lots of complicated feelings about that video, I know for a fact that Black women twerking on the beach and rapping about how they are not going to have sex with men who do not give them something in return is not why we are oppressed. Of course, I think images matter. I think it's really important that we have Michelle Obama, who last year was voted the most admired woman in America. We have Kamala Harris, we have Issa Rae and Regina King, shout out to her, Oscar nominee, love her. We have Oprah, all sorts of Black women who we see being beautiful and refined or whatever, classy and glowing and glamorous. Like, that stuff matters. But those are not the only black women who deserve to be represented. All black women are not Michelle Obamas. All black women are not me's. And I am not now, nor will I ever be invested in telling the black women who are not me, who are not Michelle or Oprah or Issa, that they are embarrassing whores. As so many of y'all commented under that video, that they're setting us back. No, look, as I said earlier, disagreement comes with the territory. Like, girl, I'm making work and putting it up on the internet, of course. And if I criticize, I have to be able to take it, even though I'm so soft. I'm so soft and sensitive deep down inside. What I am always going to push back on is an insinuation that I don't deeply care about the women that I'm talking about. Or an insinuation that I don't know what I'm talking about. No, we're always going to push back on that. Obviously, I'm always learning. I'm gonna be learning until I die. I've spent a decade thinking deeply about these questions. I started for Harriet 9 years ago in my college dorm room. And I've been writing about it and tweeting about it and posting about it, but also reading about it, talking to experts, interviewing regular people about it. Like, this is my life. Like, you know, I just had a realization. This is my life. I didn't just come up with these ideas. Usually by the time an idea makes it into a video, this is something that I've been mulling over for years, probably. In fact, on the topic of respectability and respectability politics, years ago, I sat down with Evelyn Brooks Higginbotham, my former college professor and the woman who first coined the term politics of respectability. And we did a long interview and we had a long conversation about what that is and what it means and how it relates to contemporary life. Now, I did that because I was seeking clarity on my own position. Girl, what you can never do is say that I don't do the work. That's what you can't do. In this decade of work that I've put into learning about black women, our histories, our lives, our contemporary conditions, inside and outside of classrooms, by the way, what I picked up is that these stereotypical perceptions of black womanhood are not going to magically go away when we cover up and pretend like we don't have sex and that we don't experience any fun or joy or pleasure from being raunchy. And I don't understand how you can think that after 8 years of Michelle Obama in the White House, the first lady, the literal embodiment of white supremacist, like normative femininity, do those same perceptions of ratchet black womanhood still persist? We've had Oprah for 30 years, right? One of the richest women in the world. Endlessly charitable. Never seen her ass. Do those same perceptions of mongrel black womanhood still persist? The answer is yes. Black women are not constructed as hypersexual beasts in the white supremacist imagination because of what we wear. It is not because of how many kids we have, because of who we have sex with, because of whether or not we're shaking our ass on the beach. That is not the reasons why those stereotypes persist. Read Killing the Black Body by Dorothy Roberts. Read At the Dark End of the Street by Danielle McGuire. Read Righteous Discontent by Evelyn Higginbotham. Read Beyond Respectability by Brittany Cooper. I don't know what to tell you because you're not doing the reading. You're not learning the history. Because it's there. There have been multiple times in US history, and I'm speaking from an American context. Sorry, that's what I know, where I'm from. But multiple times in this country where black women have come together and tried to create a united front to say, we are worthy of respect. You will treat us with dignity, and we are going to show you that we are worthy of respect. We actually get the phrase politics of respectability from one of those movements. Now, that's happened throughout history. This has happened in various forms at various times in US history, and yet black women are still abused and degraded inside and outside of our communities at that. It is nutty to me when people say, well, why don't you just stop showing your ass? Like, that's going to fix it. Girl, we've tried that. You are not plugged in if you think that respectability, meaning outward displays of conservative behavior that conforms to white social mores, has offered black women any sort of substantial protection in the past. Enslaved women were not twerking. Black women were not twerking during Jim and Jane Crow. Reese Taylor was not twerking. Dr. Tamara O'Neal wasn't twerking when her fiance killed her at her job last year. So what are we arguing about, really? We're arguing about something that makes you uncomfortable. Okay, but let's not get that confused with a solution. Now that I've said that, sorry, let me put back on the calm voice again. I do think that there needs to be balance in our images. We shouldn't only get Love and Hip Hop. We shouldn't only get Basketball Wives or Real Housewives of Atlanta. We should have balance. We deserve that. And we should be cognizant of how old racist tropes make their way into mainstream media. But I will never be okay living in the box that white supremacy has put us in, or scolding black women who choose not to. I do not believe that every black woman has to spend her time reacting to racist tropes. We don't have to be controlled by the controlling images. We've tried that. Respectability movements fall out of favor when new generations come up and realize that they are not protected and say, wait, you told us this was the key. You told me that there was a solution and the solution was behaving properly. Now that being said, I have to say that I'm not blanketly anti-respectability, right? People like me who get lots of access and opportunities utilize respectability in lots of different ways, and we have to be honest about that. I'm honest about it. I critique respectability because I know it so well, because I can point to so many times throughout my life where respectability did not protect me. And by the way, I can perform respectability in lots of different ways, but I navigate lots of spaces where I'm not respectable enough. I don't have a graduate or terminal degree from a fancy university. My dresses are too tight. I'm out here cussing on the internet. I'm vulgar. I don't have a high-paying job at a fancy corporation, right? Respectability, like privilege, is very situational, and I am failing some people for real. You know, ask my mom about our conversations about church. It's a real thing. And people say, oh, you live conservatively. Yeah, well, to some people I live conservatively, sure. To other people, not so much. And a lot of those conservative choices are motivated by fear. But I've had the most fun. I've gotten the most reward when I've stepped outside of those boxes. So yeah, I'm gonna tell people, do you. Now, assess the risks. Be safe. But I am not going to counsel you to be scared. When I see people giving certain kinds of femininity advice or respectability advice, I'm like, do you know that that works, or are you guessing? Because it feels like a guess to me, as somebody who's spent a fair share of time in fancy black spaces, right? Who is intimate with those folks and hangs out with them and talks to them and was raised by them. It just feels off to me. I know that respectable, fancy black women of all ages are out here miserable, lonely, insecure, raped, abused, stereotyped, underpaid. And that's not to say that all black girls and black women face the same kinds of precarity. We don't. I've had a pretty good life. I have. Class matters, access to resources matters. But there is no magic bullet for this. There's no magic cure. If you come to me one-on-one asking for advice, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm going to be real with you about what your desires are, what your goals are, what your motivations are, but everybody does not have my goals. Everybody is not going to be me. So if you come to me saying, Kim, I'm applying to med school, do you think I should be in the twerk video? I'm gonna say, girl, probably not. But I'm going to do that without being a smug, elitist, ahistorical asshole. Navigating black womanhood is hard. It's hard. I don't have the answers. You probably don't either. I recognize that so much of this advice, even if I think it's bad, comes from a genuine desire to do good. And that's why I'm not gonna be out here beefing in public with black women that I disagree with, right? I might push back, but I'm not gonna drag your name or anything like that, because we're just doing the best that we can. Just know that I am never going to co-sign thinly veiled disdain for poor people and sex workers. Not ever. And you think that I should be on your side because I'm not poor and I'm not a sex worker. You're wrong. You're wrong. That's really all I can say to you. You are not right. And by the way, people listen to me because I speak like this and I use the words that I do and I cite sources or whatever. But the stuff that I'm saying is not different from the stuff that the women that you don't like say. They say the same thing. They talk about their lives and their experiences and their desires, and they say the same thing. But you don't listen to them because you think they're too stupid to know better. And y'all need to stop trying to use kids as cover for your clear discomfort or disdain for sex and sexuality. Stop that. Don't let your kids watch the twerk video. Don't take your kids to see R-rated movies. It's common sense. We use our best judgment when it comes to kids, but that doesn't mean that adults don't ever get to do adult stuff. Well, that's all I have to say about that. I have to say, you guys, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all's support so much, but the only time I ever want anybody to tell me when somebody is talking shit is if they mention a member of my family. If it's just about me, please just let it be. Leave it alone. If it's important enough, eventually I will see it and address it. But my God, I just can't be going through this every week. I cannot. I am not made for it. The bonus video that I recorded today is about Kamala Harris and my
in the New York Times and all of that.
Thoughts on her.
She released a
I won't even say more about that, but
I made a mistake.
I have thoughts on Kamala Harris, and I talked about them.
Girl,
so that's up on Patreon right now. Of course, that is going to be patrons only. Sign up for Patreon and get all of the bonus content. Grab some merch. Send me an email, but not about any shady comments. Leave a comment down below. Sign up for the email newsletter. Thank you guys. Again, I get to do this. I really get to do this. I appreciate y'all.